right, so our next guest is Rebbeca Remley of Wetherspoon Organic. Rebbeca, come on up. Nice to meet you here.
Nice to meet you as well, John.
So, Wetherspoon Organic, you produce Manuka honey products, right?
We do.
So, what does the portfolio of Wetherspoon Organic look like?
So we're primarily, as you say, a Manuka honey company, meaning that we start with the honey. That is, the majority of the volume that we do. But Manuka has some properties that are just so amazing that lend themselves very well to other food products as well as topical products.
So Manuka honey is one of those things that, I think still doesn't have massive mainstream kind of understanding of what it is. Can you quickly just describe that for any of our viewers that aren't familiar?
You bet. It's really interesting actually because Manuka is much more well-known in Europe and in Asia than it is in North America. But North America is picking up pretty fast. Yeah, we are. And lots of times we're leading the trends, but this time...
we like our honey in little plastic bears, so we're undoing that, right?
That's what we grew up with. You're exactly right. So in North America, however, it's been, in the past 5 years, Manuka has just kind of been exploding. There's a lot of folks that are nutritionists, athletes that have, and entertainers as well because of the benefits for your throat. So Wetherspoon specifically, our products, again, for the most part, they're honey in a jar, but we also have done some things like we've added Manuka honey to apple cider vinegar. Just to kind of round out the flavor, give it a little bit more rounded, a little sweet taste.
And that's a more recent innovation for you, right?
It's just launching right now. That's exactly right. And then skincare. Again, Manuka honey has some amazing properties that are wonderful to eat, but they're also great for your skin.
So Manuka honey's been a little, as you said, kind of slow to catch on here, but is it just the word of mouth from those people you were describing that is the catalyst to it, or what's making it stick now?
Absolutely. It's really the health and wellness community is talking about it and getting behind it. I have people come up to me, obviously influencers across the country, but folks just on the street that said, hey, my dog had a cut that would not heal, and my vet recommended that I should put Manuka honey on it. So there's a lot of anecdotal information. Again, honey is a food. We're not prescribing anything.
Miracle medicine.
Exactly. But the fact is that there are people talking about it from every walk of life.
And you guys are the #1 brand of Manuka honey, right?
We are. We're over 50% market share in North America.
So it seems like we've been lately talking about honey a lot with companies like Nature Nate's. And, I don't know, I guess anecdotally, I feel like when I go to Expo West, for example, there's more products that are singing the praises of honey like every year.
Absolutely.
What sort of trajectory is honey on in general? I mean, is this going to become our de facto sweetener, or does it stay sort of in I don't know if I should call it a niche, but where's this all going?
Yeah. So overall, the sweetener category is flat. Even natural sweeteners are flat. But within the category, honey is growing by the fastest amount, and Manuka honey specifically is driving that growth. We don't see that slowing down anytime soon. Just from a sweetener standpoint, as you know, a lot of us are trying to get away from white sugar in any kind of form. And honey has a lower glycemic index than sugar does. So there's a lot of ways that honey can be used as a sweetener, as a food, that are very beneficial.
Is the low glycemic index, I feel like that maybe peaked as a sort of messaging point, I don't know, it seems like 5 or so years ago, at least in food and beverage products. Is that still something that is driving consumer demand?
It's all a range, right? It's all a spectrum. And so honey is not a low glycemic food. It's definitely not. But it is lower right, than white sugar. Exactly. So I think eating is a spectrum. Our health is a spectrum. There's not very many people that are willing to go from 1 to 10 and just, all in. But there's little things that we can be doing every day to make our health a little bit stronger.
And I guess as far as the shot products, is that the first sort of, I don't know, packaged food product that you're producing?
It is. What we've done is we've started with Manuka honey. That's the number one ingredient in the product. And we've added some other nutrients to it and some other beneficial herbs that make the product kind of benefit-based. We've also added Guanine BC30, which is a probiotic. Honey's a natural prebiotic, so it just makes sense to add it to a probiotic.
Well, it sounds pretty tasty to me, so looking forward to trying that.
Oh, thank you so much.
I guess, just as far as getting back to the Manuka honey, it seems like from some of the companies that we've talked to, there's like a extra challenge of sourcing it. Can you talk a little bit about just kind of the supply chain for it?
You bet. So Manuka honey is almost primarily from New Zealand. And in fact, the Leptospermum is only from New Zealand, that species. There are cousins to that, other species of Manuka that are in other countries, but really New Zealand is the only one that has been very successful at growing it. So because of that, there is a supply that's based in New Zealand. However, the government in New Zealand specifically and the industry overall has been doing a tremendous amount to grow the supply, and by doing that, they can just planting Manuka shrubs, Manuka trees. That's the biggest single thing that can be done.
Just planting more trees.
Planting more Manuka.
That doesn't sound like a horrible thing.
Yeah, it is. It's a great thing. That's exactly right.
So before we wrap up, I just want to ask you about your experience so far at our conference here.
Oh, it's been fantastic. Yeah, it's the people that you have speaking at the seminars are a wealth of knowledge.
Well, appreciate that, and hopefully you're sticking around for the rest of it here. I guess still pretty early on in our 2 days. So
absolutely. The things that I've heard so far, I want to continue to hear more.
And I guess what sort of stuff are you looking for as an entrepreneur at an event like this?
Well, that is interesting because a lot of the folks that are here are very early stage, I think. But I was here yesterday as well and today, and every time someone speaks, especially when they're speaking from their own experience, you learn something. You take it along. A lot of what I personally have taken is the culture and how to create the right culture within your company and keep it.
There you go. Well, how big is your team right now?
We have about 20 people here in the States, and
Okay.
then we have a group in New Zealand and a group in Canada.
So you guys are vertically integrated with the Manuka back in New Zealand and all that?
We process everything ourselves.
Okay.
It's really important to us that we can trace our honey all the way back to the hive. We work with local beekeepers in New Zealand that are very good at what they do, but we then take the honey and process it ourselves so that we can control the process all the way through.
And is that something that is unique as far as a company that's using honey in general?
Well, definitely for honeys in the United States. Most honey companies are buying from beekeepers and then just processing themselves, yeah.
Interesting. Well, Rebecca, I really appreciate your time. Fun to talk about Manuka honey for a little bit. So,
absolutely.
And I hope I get to try your product pretty soon. So.
You will later on this afternoon.
Oh, the shots are here?
Absolutely.
You made my afternoon.
Cool.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks a lot, and I guess we'll move on to our next guest here.
Sounds great. Thanks, John.
Rebecca.